Good evening, everyone. Hopefully, you had a great Friday. Um, it was definitely one for the books for me. Um, this morning on the way to work, um, another bus driver got on ours and said that there's a fire at some location and to expect delays. Well, when we get there to Mill Creek Station, where I get off the bus, it wasn't a fire. Um, Power line had gone down, and they're not allowing anyone to walk down the street. So I decided to hop on the bus, and it was an additional 10-15 minutes, probably. At least I felt it. And yeah, and then on the way home, for some unknown reason, traffic was equally as bad. Um, Thankfully, we had a smart bus driver that in the afternoon. Um, he, instead of going the regular route, he went a different route. Neither way had any stops, but he did a great job, even though not very talkative, very serious guy. Um, so, got a question for you guys. Have you ever wanted to live in a different world? Want to start life again? Oh, this is what's called in Japanese. It's called isekai, something like that, and it literally means other world. Is what the translation is, and the genre in anime, basically someone is either killed or dies or is magically, my ears feel like they want to pop, magically transported to a different world where they have this adventure of a lifetime. Generally, they have powers beyond belief, and sometimes they have their memories from their previous life, and they try and improve life in this world, make their own life the way they wanted. One of my favorites is oh shoot, I can't even remember the full name. It's anime names have a tendency of becoming entire sentences or paragraphs. I'm not kidding you. I think one day we'll see anime titles that are a couple paragraphs long. Anyways, it's the ascendance of a bookworm, and this girl is born into another world, and she remembers how much she loved books. In fact, she died. I believe she died thanks to an avalanche of books killing her. I think that's what it was. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and watch it. It was so good. Anyways, I think at one point or another, everyone imagines living in a different world and getting to start all over. Well, guess what? Welcome to your new life, especially those that you have recently been born. See, before we lived here on Earth, we lived somewhere else. And we lived there for eons. There is not a soul on this earth that is younger, or I shouldn't say soul, spirit here on earth, that isn't younger than the age of the earth. I promise you that. That's guaranteed. When God said, finish the creation at the beginning in Genesis, he ended it. At least for this earth. And there's some out there that believe that when we're born, God creates our spirit right then and there. And they say that, that's when we're created. In other words, the human spirit is finite. And there's a term, I would have to look it up, or saying, better yet, that which is created that which is not created is eternal. That which is created cannot be eternal. Paraphrasing, I don't know the exact quote right off the top of my head. But basically what it's saying is that if something has a beginning, it's going to have an end. And I can't imagine that an all-loving God would create something without having an eternal purpose. Now, according to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, our beliefs state that, in fact, you can look it up, it's in Doctrine and Covenants, that the human spirit cannot be created. Now, how we are formed, how our spirits grow, insequential, not very important at all. What matters is that we know we lived. And this is something that's covered great in the early church fathers. The scriptures talk about it. Of course, the same scriptures people will argue. But to Latter-day Saints, this is true. Each of us have lived before we came here. That is where we developed our personalities, where we developed our talents. Think of Beethoven. He was still a child when he started composing music. I mean, that's not something that's, for us, it's considered a savant or a genius. But if we look at it, he was training in the premortal life. But just something to think about. Why would God create a finite being such as ours to be his children? That doesn't make sense. So I'm going to end this, and hopefully I'll find a good topic for tomorrow. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you again. Church is true.